Hello everybody, my name is Damien Kessler. I'm the founder and VFX supervisor at Rockin VFX Studio. Today I'm going to do a small presentation to show you how the studio works, what we do, and how Houdini is making all of this possible. To talk a little bit about my background, I graduated from SideFX 10 years ago in 2015. It is a school in the south of France. Then I worked in Paris in multiple small studios, then moved to Montreal to start my FX career at MPC. You can see part of the demo reel that I created while working at those companies. After a few years working in different companies in different countries, I went back to France to start my freelance journey, and that's where I started to directly work with clients as per continuing doing some studio work as well. 2023, after more and more freelance projects coming in, requiring more time, more technical and challenging shots, I decided to create a studio to be able to push the client's vision further by being able to bring more people on board. The studio is physically located in the south of France, as it is where I'm located, but it is only based on remote workflow because I like the idea that everybody working with us could choose where they want to live and not especially need to move to crowded cities with heavy public transport, sometimes abroad and far from their families or friends. Basically, I want this to stay their choice. Now, what do? We started by mainly working on video clips or short films. Then we got into some commercial works, then TV series, and finally started to get some feature films. Today, our work is mainly TV series, feature films, and a bit of commercials. I'd say we specialize in CG integration with real footage, creature work, and of course, FX as well. I'm going to play our demo reel right now, and I'll come back to talk about the pipeline and Houdini.
Yeah. Picture us whipping in the ladder, head out the window, foot up on the gas and head off the pedals. We some diamonds, but they calling us medalists. Skip the comments, cause it's not in my element. Guard is up when we attack. Armored hearts is not the only thing cracking. When we come soaring out the hatch, we like the forest scorching, not the match. Mind your business till the business is done. All this wishing it ain't really enough. All that's missing is the motion. We too busy toasting, infinitely filling it up. 2020 vision, bringing in dubs. And we ain't going for the gold. We breaking necks and going for the throat. Don't gotta check us, now you bout to know. It's my rebellion. Power now, I'm burning bright. It's my rebellion. People trying to roll my right. It's my rebellion. Pull off the chains, pull off the chains, and I walk my own way. It's my rebellion. I got distance to take. Pressing pedals, put the revenue. Perfect timing by resisting the way. Looking down on us, but we got ahead of our time to bring it to the age. You reminiscing soon as we engage. We see the hate and we see who amazed. Half of them leaving shame. Either way is my hunger appreciate. On the run with them hunters, so keep away. Better turn on my brothers, you'll see the bait. Cause there won't be another when we in place. We been putting our all to see the change, and we only gon' fall if we arrange. We see the law, we see the chains, and that's the only time we gon' see them break. It's my rebellion. Power now, I'm burning bright. It's my rebellion. People trying to roll my right. It's my rebellion. Pull off the chains, pull off the chains, and I walk my own way. It's my rebellion.
Alright, now let me talk a bit about the studio. In terms of scale, we fluctuate between 2 and 9 artists with an average of 4 artists per project. Our pipeline is quite flexible. We work locally with a syncing process which allows to share the project, renders and scene files. We use Prism as our file structure manager, Kitsu as our project manager, especially in big projects, ZBrush and Substance Painter for asset creation, Maya for animation, Nuke for compositing, and finally Houdini is our main CG package. We use it for layout, FX, fur, crowd, CFX, assembly, lighting, and rendering with Solaris and Karma. Now we're gonna have a look at 2 projects. The first one is from a short film called From Human to God. You can find it on YouTube. And it was very challenging because we had a lot of character animations to do. We had creatures to create, a few environments to replace as well. So here's the scene. Now we're looking at Prism, where we can see all of the sequences and shots. We can see the scene files and all the media. Here you can see the animation made in Maya. We're reviewing the playblast. This is the beauty renders that we can find in Prism as well. And just a QC check so we can make sure everything is all right. Here's the final compositing. We'll dive into the scene now. We are now in Solaris and you can see how the scene is made. We'll start from the beginning by getting the camera, getting the environment that has been done by another department. We import the lighting for the sequence. Here we have a light rig where we just add some more clouds. We do 2D clouds so it directly affects our environment. We get into the camera and we can see what we have at the moment. All right, everything looks okay. Can continue. Here we get our Minotaur character. Just for the purpose of visualization, I'm gonna turn off this material. Okay. Later we'll bring the animation here on top. We also do the effects of the nose ring. We then have the option of either using a simulated fur or a deformed fur or just the original fur. This will be applied using the Houdini procedural at the end of the script here. We isolate the characters on this one. Going to activate the shader again and just render. Looks like that. If we go to the other side, we'll have the environment where we had our 3D crowd displayed only with planes, so it's faster. We have flag simulation, we have Karma Fogbox, and we do a fast render. It's going to be blurred anyway. And that's the result of it. So this is how we set up the scene. Also, you can see most of the heavy layers are optimized. And that's it for the first scene. Here we have the QC render part. Let's see the second scene. That second project we're going to have a look at is a video clip called Holy Water. You can find it on YouTube as well. This is the plate we got. The obvious difficulty is the very long frame range. So it is 2500 frames. What we want for the first part is to have all of that foreground cliff to be a cemetery of guitars, where we can see they already put 2 of them on set, and we just want to have a bunch. So that's what we're going for. We start with getting that foreground cliff from a photogrammetry made from the backplate. We can then create different scatter options from patterns, random, from painted areas, or from feature. Or in this case, we want all of the ambient occlusion areas to get affected so we can stack guitars. And this is what we got with all of our points. We'll then add P-scale, add random orientations, and then this is our out. And here we have a preview using boxes, just so we can have an idea of the coverage. Then we move to stage area. And here we can import all of our different guitars already made in USD. That's probably a better way to do that, but it works. We merge them together everything is scaled to the correct wall space. And then we put that into an instancer where we got our points and an offset of the p-scale. This gives us all of the guitars for the scene. We import the camera, the cliff, the lights from the scene, and then we use Karma XPU to be able to render that. We will come back to this later to add more close-up guitars at the top of the cliff. Then second part, and this is a big one. On this one, we have created a ground and roughly matched the geometry so we can get proper collisions. The idea is to have water coming from behind, splashing onto those hills, mountains, and then flowing towards the camera. So by the end, it can splash directly on our foreground cliff. That's a bit of a mess. On this side, we have custom velocities. On here, we do everything that is collision-wise. We also do here, using boxes, simplified collisions. We will do a first flip solver. So with the flip simulation, here we bake it so we can watch it from here. So this is our baked simulation with points. That took a few hours, obviously, but it wasn't that long. It's just that obviously the frame range is a bit long. Then we curl some points just to get something faster or lighter. On the side, we also work on individual splashes that we do separately just to have more control. So the first splash is that one. Then the second one will be a splash over this mountain. We can then retime them to place them accordingly. And the third one is the close-up one. Then we have everything merged together. We have a custom meshing, so we mesh all of this together. Once it is cached, it looks like this. So this is curled from the camera view. Then we have on this side white water source. So we use a few points to create white water based on vorticity and speed. We do a first foam simulation using points. And then from the points, we'll do another one with Axiom Solver to do a smoke simulation. On the second part, we work on that close-up simulation that will hit our foreground cliff and be our final explosion. We will apply the same treatment where we create white water and then a smoke simulation from it. We can now go onto stage and be prepared to render. Okay, you will see a few errors just because this is out of frame range. So this is our ocean mesh that we import. We'll then add our white water as particles and our foam simulation as smoke. All of this together, we put some shaders onto it, and then we can add the camera, the lighting, and the environment to be a matte object. Let's see from the camera view with the backplate on. And let's hit render. Nice. This is looking pretty dark, but just remember, we're supposed to get AOVs out of this and rebalance everything in compositing. And last but not least, lightnings. So once we're done with the two previous effects, we just do a small comp, put it in there as a backplate, and time our FX lightnings to hit with the music. We manually place all of our points. We give it a start frame, create the branching system, apply the lightning noises, and then once we give it the p-scale, it will create the animation. We can then apply some more changes like width breakup, give it the width, actual width of the rendering, and erase all of the points that we're not using directly. Then we go onto stage mode. This is the last part. We import the lighting geometry. We give it an emission shader, transform this into a light, add the camera view, and then just hit render. And this is the result once it's all comped together and we apply grade onto it. Now for the last part of this presentation, I'm going to show you the tools we built to be as efficient as possible with our pipeline and on our projects. We've created LOP imports, exports, renders. So with the LOP import, we are able to access everything that we exported. Could be our asset, could be our animations. Then we merge them to get them together. And as seen previously, we can apply the fur back onto it. Once we put a light on, we can now render. The export node is to output anything as USD. It could be directly your scene, or it could be within a department, for example, exporting your light rig as a shot, as a sequence, or as an asset level. LOP render allows you to quickly render your EXR sequence using the farm or locally. The next tool we created is called Hermes. It is our LookDev HDA. Plug in your character and you can set up your render with your turn. Use it with different lights, different presentation, different cameras. Set up the asset rotation as per the light rotation. Get some wedges, including clay renders, and get your MP4 mosaic already done as a return. Last one we created is a material library. Plug in your materials and it will be automatically set to the material you selected. Here's another part of our Hermes, is the Hermes Studio. Instead of using HDRI, use our custom studio. Choose within the materials that are already made. And by giving your asset the name of the material, you can already apply it automatically. This is not made to be a final asset. It just allows you to quickly get your scene going. Now, I would like to take a minute to thank SideFX for the awesome software, all the new features, the great support that we get. And I would like to thank all of the persons that have been with me from the beginning, helping me develop that studio and create kick-ass images, great workflow and pipeline as per very cool custom tools. Thank you everybody for watching and see you next time.